Hey travelers, so you're planning a trip to China in 2025? Amazing choice. Whether you're going for food, culture, business, or just the thrill of seeing pandas in real life, you need to be prepared. In this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know, from visas, apps, payments, rail travel, and even how we got stuck at a restaurant because of a simple payment mistake. Trust me, you don't want to learn the hard way. Let's get into it. Before you buy that plane ticket, let's talk visas. There are two main ways to enter China legally. One, visa on arrival. So if you're coming from Canada or the United States, you can do visa on arrival. They're only available in select areas like Shenzhen, Zhuhai, or Henan Island. They're typically intended for shorter stays, so I think it's something like 5 to 15 days. It is super limited. It's not available for all nationalities, so you definitely want to check the rules before you count on it. You can call your local Chinese embassy or consulate if you're not sure and you want to find out more information. So option 2 is applying for the visa via embassy or consulate. This is actually the most common method for tourists to apply for the L visa. You can really find out a lot of information right on the consulate website, and this is the visa that we chose to do. So basically you go right on the website and it walks you through all the forms and the steps you need to take for the different types of visas they have as well. So you can get a business visa, student visa, or even a work visa depending on your purpose for traveling to China. And they do have single, double, or multiple entry depending on your itinerary. Now, when we were applying, because my brother lives in China, he did send us an invitation letter, and it required for applying for the tourist visa, we actually had to purchase our tickets ahead of time. Now, living on the east coast of Canada, there's no close embassy, so it was a little bit of a pain, but not a difficult process, where the closest embassy is Montreal, so we took a weekend trip to Montreal to go get our visas. Basically, in order to have it, and I'll walk you through some of the steps, is you're going to go to their website, download the forms. You do need a new passport photo and a digital passport photo. So those were two things that we required. So you can get that at your local John Coutu, Shoppers, or CVS if you're in the States, or Walgreens. You should, wherever you go and get your passport photos. Now, our visa, when we got it, so basically they sent it back to our home address in the mail, which was pretty convenient. And when we arrived, actually our passports are for multiple entry, and it expires just a couple months before our passport expires. So our passports expire about 8 years from now. We originally had a 10-year passport here in Canada. So our visa is actually a lot longer than what we thought it would be. So definitely a pro tip would be, make sure you apply at least a month in advance. So you'll need updated passport photos, travel itineraries. So they do want to know where you're staying, hotel reservations, and proof of funds or invitation letters. They'll want to know, where you're working, that kind of thing. So for us, because my brother lives there, we actually didn't really have all of our hotels or anything totally booked before we went. So, we used his place of address because that's where we were staying for quite a bit of the time. So don't leave it for last minute, or your trip could be over before it starts. Once your visa is secured, or while you're waiting for them to mail your passport back, it's definitely time to get your phone ready, because China runs on apps, and without them, you are not going to survive. You're going to feel like a caveman with no tools. So the apps that you want to prepare yourself with, WeChat and Alipay. You want to have 100% both. So WeChat, think of it kind of like a WhatsApp, Facebook, PayPal, and Yelp all in one. You'll use it to chat, pay, scan QR codes, and even book food delivery. WeChat is owned and operated through the government of China. And the second app that is an absolute must is Alipay. So Alipay, just like WeChat, you can use it as your paying tool. It also does food delivery. You can book your train tickets, taxis. Everything is all in this app. So WeChat, Alipay, they are two must-haves. For some reason, if you ever, get locked at a WeChat, your source of payment or payment methods, I should say, isn't stopped because you do have Alipay. There is a catch to this. So you need to download these and have it set up before you leave your country. You do not want to do this when you're in China, because basically when you're setting up your payment methods, it is going to send you text codes and different verification methods before you go. So do not do this when you're there. Do this before you go. Once you're inside the country, there are some app stores and websites that are blocked. So make sure you have all your apps set up and ready. Now, let's talk about navigation when you're in the city. So Didi. So basically Didi is China's Uber, and you can find Didi in your Alipay. So it's not a separate app, it's right in Alipay. And oh my God, Didi is so convenient. It's extremely affordable. And it works just like Uber. So Didi is the way to go. And the cool part is you can access Didi right inside your Alipay, and it's in English. So you don't need tons of confusing apps in Chinese. Just open your Alipay, tap Didi, and get a ride. So it works just like Uber. You type in where you want to go, and it has the map, shows you the path that the taxi's on. It literally is China's Uber. So that's right in your Alipay. So the next thing you really want to have is a VPN. So choose a VPN. I'll attach a link to the one that we used. And basically, if you're looking to check your email, browse Google, YouTube, Instagram, what have you, they are all blocked, right? Facebook, what have you. So you do need a good VPN, kind of like an ExpressVPN or NordVPN, pardon me. And again, install it before you land. Trust me on this one. So having a good VPN, as well as an eSIM. So eSIMs are perfect for tourists. So when we were traveling to China, we actually did a week before in Japan. So we purchased an eSIM, and it worked seamlessly. So install a travel eSIM before you're landing, so you've got all your data right away. Heads up, eSIMs can complicate things when you need to receive SMS codes from your bank, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but you definitely want to have an eSIM. Translate. So Papago, Pleco, Google Translate kind of works, but it's not reliable. So Papago is what we used. It's amazing for Chinese, especially offline, or again, we did have our eSIM, and oh my God, what a fun experience traveling around and talking to the drivers in Didi and the shop workers, and it just made traveling in China a really interactive and great experience. We weren't on a tour, so if you've checked out my other videos, you'll see that we weren't on a guided tour, although my brother was kind of our guide because he is fluent at Mandarin. But when we were out exploring on our own, or because there's not enough of seats in the car, so a lot of times we'd have to take two DDs when traveling around, we really enjoyed chit-chatting with the locals, and Papago was our savior. English is definitely not widely spoken at all, so really until we were in Beijing, we heard very little to zero English. I think the only English we heard was hello. Monkey Jane, when we were in Yangshuo. Monkey Jane could speak English. She was fabulous. And if you're watching this, Monkey Jane, we cannot wait to go back and see you and eat your delicious lemon chicken. Going to share with you a payment nightmare story. So picture this. It's our first day We had flown from Tokyo early morning to Hong Kong, and from Hong Kong we took the train to Guangzhou. And we had just dropped our stuff off, our backpacks off at the hotel, and my brother, a friend, and us, we decided to go out for dinner. And we were exhausted. And we thought, you know what, let's, treat my brother to dinner. So we're sitting at this really nice restaurant eating Cantonese style food, and the food is amazing, the vibe is great, and it's time for us to pay. So we open up WeChat thinking everything is all set up, and boom, our Visa card triggers verified by Visa. So what do we do? Well, I am a bank employee. So that means, basically you get a text code sent to your phone, and you just type in the code or type in your password, and then you simply verify and you continue with your purchase. But guess what? The eSIM doesn't receive text because you're not using, your normal phone SIM. So we had to switch back to get our regular SIM to get the code, and then switch back to the eSIM to go online. And the switch, of course, cost us roaming and fees. And in addition to that, what happened is the timing, because you only have so long to do it. And because we switched out and we're not on that Wi-Fi, it stopped the transaction. So basically what ended up happening is our bank locked our card for suspicious activity. So total freak out, because this is our first time trying to purchase anything here. So we figured, oh my God, we have a month ahead of us and now our cards are locked. What do we do? So we quickly brainstormed at the table, and our friend Kyle, who he's originally from Nova Scotia, so shout out to you, Kyle, and your family if they happen to ever watch this. You had Skype on your phone, and who has heard of Skype? I figured Skype was long gone, because I haven't thought of Skype, I think, since the early 2000s. So thank God that Kyle had Skype, and we Skyped the toll-free number at the bank, and it only cost, I think it cost him $5. So of course, we treated him later on to something else to make up for that. And we were able to unlock our card. Now, this situation actually happened to us 2 more times on our trip. Thankfully, though, we knew what to do after that first incident. So when we got back to the hotel, we downloaded Skype onto our phone and loaded some money. That way, if it happened again and we're on our own or with my brother or what have you, we know what to do. So basically, the lesson is, you are going to be using an international card through your WeChat and Alipay. You can use your Visa in Alipay and WeChat. We are point collectors, so it just makes sense to use your Visa. Why not, right? And you also have insurances on what you buy and your hotel stays, what have you. So that's definitely a pro tip. Link your credit cards to it, but also have Skype downloaded. So yeah, verify them. Banks don't really leave comments on your profiles anymore in Canada. So just, have your Skype, load it with a couple dollars, call your toll-free number on the back of your card. And thankfully it was a quick fix. So let's talk high-speed rail and travel safety. So if you're planning on exploring outside of major cities or navigating between cities, China's high-speed rail system is incredible. So basically, the trains are fast, super clean, very affordable. They travel speeds, I'm going to say, I think we saw 280 to 305 kilometers an hour, comfortable seating, easy online booking. So you can buy tickets right through your Alipay. That's what we use this whole time. And I think you can get them at the train stations, but why? If you're using Alipay and your cards are loaded, it just makes sense to book it there. You can check out prices. There's different caboose tickets. Basically, it works just like Amtrak or Via Rail if you're in Canada, but a lot better and more efficient. So Alipay, you're gonna book your ticket right through there. There is first class, what have you, different times. Super, super efficient. You can order food while you're on the train, and they do have designated cabooses where you can go and order some snacks and treats, what have you. Traveling solo or outside of a group tour, so no problem at all. Like, China is super safe. I actually have to say, if you know me, then you know that I come from a mixed family. So my husband is from the Dominican Republic, and my stepmother is from the Philippines. And I've got to say, it's interesting because I have lots of Chinese friends here in Canada, and most Chinese people I see here in Canada, until you really get to know them, they seem very quiet, shy almost, right? And it's kind of funny because it's the absolute opposite when you get there. They are so lively, energetic, just friendly, full of life. And it almost reminded me of like the Dominicans or the Filipinos, that and love. And Chinese people are exactly the same, just very warm-hearted, generous people. And it's interesting because it's definitely an extremely safe country. You're not going to be bothered. So whether you're a female traveling solo or you're outside of a group as a family traveling like us, really have peace of mind knowing that safety is a non-issue. People are very helpful. It's extremely clean. It definitely is the cleanest place I've ever been. And obviously there's crimes. There are crimes wherever you go. There's crimes, across, I think, Canada. Unfortunately, I don't want to really talk about crimes, but there are crimes. But if you're in China, crime is really rare. So just use common sense. Have your Didi, your translator, Papago apps handy, your eSIMs, and just be aware of where you are. But honestly, we never had anything to worry about. Just use common sense, have translation apps handy, and stay aware when you're in crowded places. Really do what you would do if you were in any city that is not your home. All right, so that's your ultimate travel prep guide for China in 2025. If you're heading soon, so first thing you want to do is definitely get your visa early. Set up your apps, Alipay, WeChat, VPN, Papago, or translation, whichever you prefer, in your eSIM. Prepare for mobile payments. Use Apple Maps if you can. And don't forget to try out the high-speed trains because they are a lot of fun. And hey, don't make the same mistake that we did at the restaurant. So having Skype handy, maybe load it with a couple bucks ahead of time. Hope this helped you out. Give it a like, drop your questions in the comments, and subscribe for more travel guides like this one. Safe travels, and I really hope you enjoy China.